down. And to take you through it, it will be Vinny Sandu and Ryan Campbell.
Thank you very much, Michael McCann. And we do appreciate your expert analysis of the teams. Michael, a very talented young man, knows his sport, not just cricket, but also football and hockey. He's the consummate professional. And you can tweet in him at @ThisIsMcCann if you have any thoughts about this game. He'll be monitoring that down in the booth. Also, you can follow our Facebook page, European Cricket League. You can watch the games on YouTube for free, live on the European Cricket Network or on TV in over 100 countries, as it's going to be Hamid Wardak who is going to open the bowling from the Las Acacias end. Strap yourselves in, ladies and gentlemen. We are in for 2 hours of thrills, spills, and maximos as the grand final championship game of the first ever European Cricket League is going to get underway. Maxo down on strike. It's pushed down to mid-on for a single. And Ryan, we saw the Germans who elected to field. Do you think that's the right decision, considering they've just come off a game that finished only about 45 minutes ago?
Well, I get the feeling that they're going to back their batting, and I think they want VOC not to quite know how many to get. Make sure that they can contain early.
Oh! It's Scotty Edwards also pushing for a single off his first delivery. And talk us through VOC Rotterdam.
Well, just before we talk about them, let's just make one note, and I'm sure you can all hear it in the effects mic. There is a really strong breeze coming almost straight down the ground now. So it's quite interesting that the German side bowling the first over into that, and hopefully that thinking that the last over will be downwind.
Next ball is pushed away on the leg side. A bit of a false shot there from Maxo down. And again, 3 consecutive singles to start the innings.
Well, it's good bowling, and we've seen him all the way through. He's been an outstanding bowler. He's both with the ball and the bat. His contributions have been outstanding. One of the major reasons the German side has made this final.
An exciting cricketer, Hamid Wardak, unearthed at the ECL as he's in again this time. He's caught in front. Having a good long look at it is the umpire, and he's given it runs. So 4 runs as Scotty Edwards trying to play. Oh, now it's called leg byes, pardon me. We had the late call from the umpire as Scott Edwards trying to repeat his favourite shot there. It was off the pad. It looked to hit him in front, but Ryan, if the ball pitches outside leg stump,
not out,
then it shouldn't be given LBW. I say can't be out, but I'm going to say shouldn't be out.
Shouldn't
LBW
be out.
If the ball bounces
Law 1.
outside off stump. So that doesn't go against the bowler, but runs nonetheless. So 7 on the board. Full outside off stump pushed away. Rashad Mahmood at cover does the fielding. So another single to the Dutchman.
Well, it was very noticeable too, Vinny, in that semi-final that Findorf's fielding and catching in particular was really crucial. They took some good catches against the best players at crucial times.
Next ball pitched up. O'Dowd attempts to play it away behind square. That is the end of the over. There's 9 on the board for VOC off the first. And let's go down to Michael McCann in the booth for his insights.
Thank you very much, Vinny. The first thing that one noticed compared to the semi-final was Asim Javid got hit for 22 by Scott Edwards, bowling left arm around to him, right into that sweep shot. Ryan Campbell and myself were on the call at the time, wondering what the tactical thinking of that was. And this just shows you how cricket's all about a game of angles. Hamid Wardak, also a left armer, but because he came left arm over the wicket rather than left arm around the wicket, sliding the ball across Edwards and O'Dowd, a little bit more consistent in his line, even though it was a 6-3 field, by that change of angle, it caused them some real problems and stopped Scott Edwards repeating his heroics of that semi-final.
Thank you, Michael McCann, as Iftikhar Khan is going to take up the attack. The second over, Max O'Dowd goes up and away. The first Maximo. Maxi O'Dowd with the shaggy locks, sending that one over the fence for 6.
Yeah, it's a good cricket shot. He's shown that he's a class act. That's length. He's just a nice, not try to overhit the ball, which he has been guilty of a little bit at times during this tournament.
So a rude awakening for Iftikhar. The next ball's shorter outside off stump. Cut away. Bit of a bottom edge shot there, fielded by Rashad Mahmood.
Now, Vinny.
Talk to me, Ryan.
We've seen it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the offside. The breeze is going to bring this up. He has to remember that the stumps don't exist, because if he bowls on the stump, Scott Edwards is sweeping this into next week.
Well, the wind is very strong, as we've mentioned. It's a bit of a cross breeze, left to right on your screen. Edwards will be targeting that leg side. Steps across and sweeps sweetly. Maximo over the players' tents, all the way for 6 more.
Yeah, well, you don't have to be Einstein to work out what he's going to do. But again, as a bowling unit, you just got to pretend the stumps don't exist. Try and go for the tram line outside the off stump. If it's a wide on the offside, then so be it. But you've got to try and keep him away. And if he's going to sweep, make it as hard as he possibly can for him to get it away, because at the moment, he is seeing it like a football, and especially in that zone of his behind square leg. But, well, behind square leg to fine leg is really his hot spot.
Well, Scott Edwards, when he got in the shower this morning, he looked at the shampoo bottle and said, rinse and repeat. And I think we're going to see a repeat here, sweeping everything as if the car, again, swept, and perhaps a little bit of pad there as it squirted down the leg side, and Iftikhar not heeding expert Brian Campbell's advice, as that was on the leg stump. And as we see in the replay, thanks to the boys in the NEP truck, it's kind of caught perhaps the back foot. I mean,
let me first say, I'm trying to get my mind off the fact that you just got me thinking about Scott Edwards in the shower. Let me get that out of my head.
Next ball is short outside off, cut away for wide delivery. Perhaps would have been called a wide.
But that's
Scott
okay.
Edwards.
That's okay. Get out there. Stay out there. The other thing is with Scott Edwards, what he does, he actually almost shows you his stumps. And of course, the bowlers think, oh, I can hit him on the pad here, or I can hit the stumps. You've just fallen for his trap.
Yes, well, wide's of course only one. If you risk a wide, if you do, just miss your spot and go outside the tram line, wides are only worth 1. Whereas we know in the Spanish countryside, the Maximos are worth 6, as Maximo goes down the ground long and strong. Maximo O'Dowd getting it done for VOC Rotterdam, straight down the ground for another 6.
Well, he's spoken about it a lot during this tournament. He's really worked hard on his game, playing straight down the ground, trying to hit the sight screen at all times. And when he does that, he keeps his shape. He doesn't try and overhit the ball, and he just works on the length. Nice swing of the bat. It's a beautiful cricket shot.
So 20 runs off the over, including 3 that went over the rope. So VOC Rotterdam at 29 for no loss, with 1 over left in their power play. And Ryan, if you are in the VOC camp right now, what sort of a score are you looking to put on the board in this final?
Well, I did notice that Peter Saylor was talking about that 140, 150 zone, which would be a very, very good score. Again, the pressure of the final. Good to see the leg spinner coming on in the power play, really test Scott Edwards. But I would have thought 135, 140 would be a nice figure to have.
Yes, it's Israr Khan. He bowled expertly in the semi-final, varying his delivery and flight. One of the most difficult things is he's right arm over the wicket. It's too short and pulled away over square legs, right into the hitting zone for Scotty the Creature Edwards, as he pulled it all the way to the square leg boundary.
Well, again, he has square leg up, and again, you know that Scotty Edwards is going to just sweep, so bring mid off up, send square leg back, make him hit into other areas.
Exactly what they've done right now as he goes first. The switch hit, it brought him undone in the semi-final. And Scott Edwards, he does like the switch hit. What's your opinion on that shot, Ryan? Is that right shot to play at this stage?
Oh, no.
This time a more orthodox shot as it's lifted up and away for another day. Maximo, 6 more to Edwards.
Well, we actually have conversations about his switch hitting and his reverse. He does hit it really well, so don't get me wrong. But on a ground like this where you get full value for shots, especially down the ground with this stiff breeze, held his shape there, got on the back foot nice and quickly.
Had really sweet contact. Isra, can he come back? It's flighted down the pitch. It's a huge Maximo off the chimney of the house, 3 down the street, as Scotty Edwards showing he can do more than sweep, and 6 more, and VOC Rotterdam really doing some damage in the power play.
Okay, now I'm happy, because as a coach, that's what we've been working on a lot. Play down the ground.
2 balls left in the 3rd over. It's flighted, stand and deliver. Maximo! 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 3 in a row for Scotty Edwards. Doing the job, 4.666, the Devils' number, and he's taken 22 off Isra with a ball to come. This time, one more time, Maximo. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 out of the park for Isra Khan. He takes 28 off the over, and they've raced to 57 for no loss. Let's go to Michael McCann.
Thank you very much. An excellent power play for VOC Rotterdam. It is the 2nd best power play of any team in the entire tournament. The only power play that was better, VOC Rotterdam in the semi-final against Catalonia. Then they hit 70 in their 3 overs. This time they piled on 57. Should be said in that game that the Catalonia Tigers also had a brilliant start. They made 52 for none from those 3 overs. Once again, it is Scott Edwards and Max O'Dowd causing absolute chaos. Meanwhile, on social, we've had people getting in touch about the trophy. Should we name it the PAV? Which personally, I've got a lot of time for that as a concept. Do get your social tweets in on @thisismccann. This is MCCANN. If you've got any stats questions or anything in particular across the tournament you'd like me to dig out. And also a discussion starting about who makes your team of the tournament.
Yes, thank you very much to Michael McCann in the booth, as we've got Farouk Amiri taking up the attack. After 3 overs, there are 5 outfielders allowed, and Ryan Campbell take us back to the 3rd over where we saw 4 balls disappear.
Well, what was really noticeable, that the pace of the young leg spinner just slowed down a little bit, and Scotty Edwards actually kept his shape really well and waited for it nicely. Didn't try and overhit, and hey, he did some damage there.
Absolutely. Samiri comes in, steps across. This one's in the next week. Scotty Edwards stepping across and flicking that ball with the breeze down over the deep fine leg boundary. It was deeper than Barry White, that's for sure. 6 over the fence, and Scott Edwards is on fire.
He is on fire, and again, I'll go back to it. I hate to keep saying the same thing. You've got to get off the stumps. Forget the stumps even exist. Bowl wide outside off stump. Try and dare him to play something else, because right now he's showing all the stumps. He's standing in front of them. Get away from them.
Edwards on 43 as he steps across and does it again. Rinse, rinse and repeat as Scotty Edwards. Maximo back to back. He has hit his last 6 balls for 6. So 6 sixes, Ryan Campbell. You don't see it very often. He's raced to 49 of only 14 balls.
Well, he's going, and again, that's middle of leg. You don't bowl at the stumps to this bloke. Come on, someone tackle him, the bowler, and say, guys, come on, let's get away from the stumps, get outside off stump. Make him think outside the box. But again, I'm not sure they're going to listen. This is going for 6 more.
I accidentally wrote 6 in the next ball on my score sheet, but I'm not going to rub it out just yet as he comes and tries to play the shot again. Could be a chance at the bowler's end. Edwards scampering through. As they went through, it looked like it wrapped him on the pad. Had to get up and go for the single. I wonder if that would have been out. As you can see here, off the front pad. Quick single, shy at the stumps. I think he might have been short if that had hit.
Big moment of the game. Big moment. Got to take your half chances when you're getting
So he remains
bashed.
on 49 off only 15 deliveries with 7 sixes. Max O'Dowd playing second fiddle at the moment. Down the pitch. And we've seen Farouk Amiri pull something out of the pitch at that end. He bowled a couple of nasty lifters. in that spot, and that one, a bit of extra bounce.
Well, it looked like he bowled maybe a cross-seamer there. Just, we've noticed it a couple of times when you hit at the edge or the barer patches on this pitch that occasionally does something a little bit out of the ordinary.
16 off 8. That's unders in this competition. Only 2 a ball as Amiri comes in again. This time, it's got the legs. Maximo. Max O'Dowd, the Dutchman, hitting with the wind. Smart cricket. And at the end of the over, Rotterdam, off only 4 overs, are 77.
Can I change my total that I mentioned, 130, 140? Can I change that to about 170?
Wow.
I think 170.
It's incredible batting.
Just erase the tape earlier on and just cut that in for me.
Wow.
170.
Well, I've locked that in the computer now. Ryan Campbell, you see the scorecard there. Scotty Edwards, 49 of only 15 balls with a 4 and 7 sixes. So 8 balls have reached the boundary or gone over of his 15. Max O'Dowd, 22 off 9. Well, that looks slow in comparison, but what a start. And it's what we thought we might see from the Rotterdam team.
Well, we did, and like I say, these two, they're fine players, they're fine international players. So again, for the German side now, you've got to take a breath. It's been an absolute shellacking to start with, but okay, let's go back to basics. What do we need to do here? We've got to somehow manage to get a wicket here. Let's get maybe our best bowler on, have good tactics, let's work our way through the problem.
And the skipper's taking matters into his own hands as Scotty Edwards drives down the ground for a single. That brings up his half-century of only 16 balls. Well played, Scott Edwards, a big player for a big game. And we've seen some tremendous hitting from the Dutch openers. Max O'Dowd on strike now. Down the pitch, slogged away into the leg side.
Well, the scary thing is that Max
direct hit, pardon me, Ryan, as that bounced off the stumps. Direct hit from the outfield. We've seen so many direct hits, they're going to scamper through for an overthrow, so it's 2 scored to O'Dowd.
I know it sounds silly, but O'Dowd, 22 or 24 off 10 now, actually hasn't hit the ball exactly how he'd like it yet. If he finds that extra gear that we know he can do, it could be something very special on the cards here.
I'm very impressed with the direct hits in this tournament. A lot of these players, they have full-time jobs. They don't have as much time to train as those that are playing on a more full-time basis. So Iftikhar, a good comeback as the next ball is on middle and leg. Swung away to deep square leg by O'Dowd, and that'll bring the man. They call him the Creature. Can you explain a bit to our viewers about why they call Scotty Edwards the Creature?
Well, Roelof van der Merwe, one of our Dutch international players, was very quick to name him that after he saw him in the showers and thought he looked like Skeletor. And basically he was called the Creature from there on in.
Needs a bit of meat on the bones, does he? As Iftikhar comes in, it's a high full toss. It's too high, it's too long. Maximo! So the worst possible result, it's a no ball for a full toss above the waist. Didn't bother Scotty Edwards too much as he sent that one out of the park anyway.
Well, and more importantly, this one's a freebie. So just when the Germans needed a little bit of a calm head and some solid stuff, it's trouble time.
Can he be any more aggressive as he already is as the next one? It's funny that, isn't it, Ryan? You've been going all along, 6 a ball, but when you get told you can't get out, suddenly doesn't make contact.
Well, you just try and hit it that little bit even extra hard, so to speak, and didn't make contact. Hitch, a breath, suddenly a moment, a split second of calmness comes to the German side.
That was crazy cricket at the moment. Iftikhar in again. 2 to come this over as this one's up and away into the wind, no problem. A fantastic effort in the crowd, but that's a Maximo. 6 more to Scott Edwards, and here's a statistic for you. Ryan Campbell, he scored 117 runs off the last 34 balls he's faced in the final series.
Wow, almost one of the great catches in the crowd.
And don't we love the crowd getting into it as the public have really got behind it here in Spain. Last ball of the over as we've got No score off that one. So at the halfway point, VOC, a colossal 94 for no wicket. And at this point, I'm going to take a breath and head down to Michael McCann in the booth.
Well, a couple of things to note. First of all, on social media, plenty of people getting involved and supporting the idea of naming the trophy as the Pav. Matt Osprey is also wondering about the team of the tournament. We've got a couple of things on that. Rob from Blue Army says that watching Scott Edwards bat is like watching stick cricket. For those familiar with the game online, where you used to continuously play the sweep shot off into the crowd. And as for the team of the tournament, a few early names to throw around. Zishan Khan, the Svanholm death bowler. Mads Henriksen, the Svanholm all-rounder. Anil Singh from St. Petersburg. Ishraq Khan, the leggy for SG Findorf. Nadir Hussain, the brilliant leggy for Catalunya. As we get back to the action, Scott Edwards, Max O'Dowd and Peter Seelar without doubt in contention as well. Get in touch with us and let us know who is in your ECL 19 team of the tournament.
Thank you very much, Michael McCann. And we do urge you to tweet him at @ThisIsMcCann, double N, for your insights. Follow our Facebook page, European Cricket League. Watch the European Cricket Network channel on YouTube. Change in bowling, as is Davotsi. And welcome Davotsi out of here. Max O'Dowd dropped the mic. A DJ sometimes, and he had no problem finding the right rhythm to send that one out of the ground for a Maximo. And joining me now is Philip Bachstadt.
Yes, hello, Vinny. It's a wonderful moment to get into the commentary box. I thought we had at least 3 or 4 wickets down by the time I come up here, but no, it's still the 2 openers there. And what a show Edwards is putting on.
Sure is, Phil. Can Davotsi come back as O'Dowd comes in? He hasn't got all of it. He doesn't carry. And Findorf, after being so miserly in their semi-final with the ball, but you can see that these 2 players are just perhaps a little bit more composed, a little bit more experienced. But also this shot from O'Dowd, he's lucky he didn't hit it slightly better as it didn't carry to the long on.
He was, his feet were on off stump. I mean, he moved across quite a bit there.
So Scott Edwards, could we see the 2nd century in the European Cricket League? The next ball outside off stump. Scotty Edwards isn't bothered. Good attacking fielding there on the boundary as Sada Darvesh down there attacking, and I like that. An aggressive option, charging in. He saw the batsman just kind of ambling through for the single. Had a shy at the stumps, and at this stage, who can do it for Germany? They're your boys, Phil. Who can step up and be the one to change the game here?
At least Hamid Wadak was backing up nicely there.
O'Dowd on strike. He gets it. Not out of the middle, but called a Maximo. A minimo Maximo. Just enough to carry the line. As we see here on the replay, thanks to our crew at NEP Productions. That one hitting the rope on the full. So, Max O'Dowd, master of conserving energy, just hitting it enough to get it for 6.
Maximo O'Dowd.
Well, he is now, isn't he? Can he repeat the dose as Davotsi comes in? Swung and missed that. It's called a no ball. So, overstepping. And as he's Davotsi, we saw he was so good in their semi-final. But this time stepping over the line, and another free hit. The Germans now, they've done very well to get to this stage, but nothing going their way in the final, Phil.
Right now, I would say they got to chase something around 170.
Well, I was going to say 1,000, but that's optimistic of you. As O'Dowd faces free hit. No worries. It's long and strong. Maximo. Max
there he
O'Dowd.
is again, your fan, Maximo.
Oh, there you are down there. Been giving out those signs all over the resort. And it's a good way to get on TV if you're a young Spanish cricket fan. It's Max O'Dowd, no pressure. Watched the ball, didn't try to overhit it. And there he is.
And what a great crowd there.
Oh, isn't it great? Aren't they enjoying it?
I saw that catch just before.
Oh, wasn't it great? Taking cricket to new places. Davotsi. This is wide outside off stump and called wide. He'll have to re-bowl that. Poor Aziz Davotsi has gone for 22 already on 5 deliveries.
But no
Current
matter
run
how...
rate. Look at that, Phil. 19.89 and over.
I don't want to have a look at it. No matter how it goes, the German team have performed so well, and they're very happy to be in the final and to play in this spectacular tournament, the European Cricket League.
All right, Phil. There's 1 ball left in the 6th over. Again, it's wide outside off stump and edge. I think it would have been a wide, but Max has some mercy, and he gets some bat on it into the ground. That's the end of the over. It's 116 for no loss after 6.
Well, as I said, the German team are very happy to be here. The European Cricket League have created something phenomenal. The team around Daniel Weston, they have really put up something. Not only the trophy which Sanjay Sharma created for them, no, it's especially about the money they're putting into the development of cricket. It's over 100,000 euros that will go into the development of cricket in Europe. And haven't we seen, for example, a country like Romania, they are pleased that this is happening.
So exciting to see a new type of cricket on the world stage. It's Amar Khalid who broke through with his first ball in the first game, and this time it's dropped. It's dropped at cover. Can you believe it? I think it's Farouk Amiri there at cover. Very tough break for the Germans. And Amar Khalid, he was able to pick up a wicket with his first ball to wrest the momentum back in the semi-final. This time, Scotty Edwards giving a life. The next ball cut away behind point. They cross for 1.
Something like that will give them even more confidence now.
Let's have a look at this. Edwards hit it. It was too flat. Got the hands there, but burst through Farouk Amiri. Needs to find a hole to crawl into. The next ball's edge. Max O'Dowd doing them any way he can. Some fancy footwork there from Rashid Mahmood. And I think that was a clean stop, although it's a long way away from us. And we've seen, how about the football skills? Let's dwell on the positive.
I think the umpire is checking it.
Yes, well, we've seen some, well, I think actually on further examination, the foot, although it stopped the ball, it was on the rope, so pretty sure that will go down as 4 runs.
And what, did you have an opinion about the target yet?
Well, still think it could be 1,000 the way it's going, but with 3.5 overs left, what's that? That's 21 deliveries, 3 a ball, 180. I think it could be. And the rate they're going at the moment, look at that, and take that to the doctor's surgery later. That's how I snapped my ankle. So that's an advanced cricket maneuver. Is that how you,
yeah,
is that how you coach your German under-17s there? Make sure you got the strong boots on. Confirmation from the umpire there. And Khalid can't take a trick. He'd be unbelievably disappointed that that chance went out first over. Next ball, short. It's down the ground. Full-length dive from Isra Khan. What a stop. And Phil, I've got to hand it to your boys, the Germans. They are giving 100% here. We're seeing some world-class batting from the Dutch internationals, but the Findorf team, they're a very close unit and they're not giving up.
Yeah, what a great save there.
Next ball, attempted reverse as it was missed. Now, Scotty Edwards, I'm going to go out on a limb here. I think he's better right-handed than left-handed, just based on what I've seen. I know he tells everyone he can hit the switch hit, but all my friends say they can hit it too. Prove me wrong. Scotty, as this one's out, it bounces in front of the fielder, Sadad Havesh, bounces over his body for 4. So Scotty Edwards, he's shown that he does want to switch hit and target that boundary, which is with the wind. That's the end of the over. And it's 130 for no loss with 3 overs remaining.
Well, they're putting on a show there, and it will be tough for the German team. 130 even would be a good target for the Dutch. Maybe they will declare just
Well,
now.
I was going to say, I don't think you can in the rules, but the Dutch could probably declare at the moment, but we've seen this T10 format. Anything can happen. We've seen big hits, and we've seen batsmen getting on a roll, sending the ball high, handsome over the boundary time and time again. So VOC, they want to stay hungry. They want to be greedy as Sata Davesh will come into the attack. The young man, only 20 years of age.
But give the other batsman a go. I mean, it's the final.
Oh, well. Don't think Max O'Dowd has that on his mind as Davesh comes in for the first ball. Full toss, up and away onto the roof of the tent. Maximo! Welcome to the bowling crease, Sata Davesh. And just like plenty of his countrymen, he is greeted with a 6.
Absolutely, and he, again, stepped away, and of course it was a full toss, and you shouldn't bowl any full tosses or any short balls to O'Dowd, and that brings up his 50.
Yes, 55 off 20 deliveries for O'Dowd. Steps across this time. Another full toss, another Maximo! Max O'Dowd back to back, saying, I can do this too. So scoring almost 3 a ball, both of these batsmen. An opening partnership of 142 unbroken in the 8th over.
It's just a display of quality batting, quality shots. Even as a German, I fully respect that and admire it.
Well, if you're a cricket lover, you'd be loving the action here from Lamunga. This is a wild full toss all the way to the keeper on the full. And perhaps he has found an area where he can bowl that Max O'Dowd will not hit him over the boundary.
Yeah, but now it's a free hit. And if he does it again, it's another free hit.
Well, they're all free hits at the moment anyway. Perhaps Sata Davesh wanted to bowl that one over the boundary for 6. He said, I'll save you the trouble, Max. I'll just put it there straight away with the wind. He's going to go around the wicket. And Max O'Dowd, 110% aggression for this one. As it goes high, up and away with the wind. Maximo! 6 more. And that's 149 on the board. And that wasn't another no ball, was it? Oh, you're breaking my heart, Alex, next to me. There's a no ball, perhaps for overstepping, and that brings up the 150 for no loss, 150 opening partnership. And when your figures are none for 20 off 2 deliveries, if you're new to cricket, that is about as bad as it can get. Poor Sata Davesh. Could we have the highest over ever in a T10 match or any kind of cricket that you could imagine? Sata Davesh, spare a thought for the young man as Max O'Dowd drills this one down to the ground. Did that carry? The umpire looking, and Maximo, 6 more. Now, we talked about stick cricket. It's a great cricket app if you've got a smartphone, and this is just exactly like it, where you're hitting almost every ball for 4 or 6, 26 off 3 balls, so an economy rate of 52 and over. Not pretty for Sata Davesh. His next one's down the ground. Oh, thought that one might hit the stumps and save him, but it's only a single. And let's give some credit here to the German player, Davesh. He's a young man. I know he's got a slight injury that he's carrying, and he's stepping up to the plate. It takes immense courage to bowl to 2 set batsmen, both in their 70s, off only 25 balls each. And the Germans, they've been all heart. We followed them all the way to the finals. They can be very proud of their efforts to this stage.
Ryan Campbell, he estimated 170, was it?
Yeah, I think Cambo.
I thought you knew his squad.
He's in the back of he's back in the back of the commentary box, and he just keeps giving the higher. The old Price is Right in the background is Ryan Campbell. I said it might be 1,000, but still might be closer than Ryan Campbell's prediction, as they're going at 20.48 and over. So they're on track for 205 if they continue at the current rate, and that'll take some chasing. We see Scotty Edwards taking guard almost outside off stump. He's targeting the leg side. And target he does. Bullseye. Maximo. Scotty Edwards goes to 78 of only 26 balls as Ryan Campbell falls off his chair and almost plummets to his death in the back of the commentary box. And that's the kind of cricket we're giving you here. International superstars. Cannot believe it. And it's a pity. We might have to get one on the commentary cam there as Ryan Campbell.
Maybe we've got a replay later on.
Well, last ball, the over none for 163. Scotty Edwards. Last ball of the over. It's up, it's high, it's a chance. And spilt at long on. Oh, please have mercy. Oh, the Germans, they were so good fielding first in the semi-final, but nothing going their way in the final as we see the replay there. It was hit, full toss. Scotty Edwards calling his shot like Babe Ruth, really. And Darvish thought, well, at least I wouldn't mind one wicket in the over to go with the runs. As we go downstairs, Michael McCann, what do you make of this?
Well, it's an absolutely destructive batting performance, but the place you can trace it back to is the third over of the innings. In his 8 overs in this tournament so far, Ishraq Khan had never conceded more than 10 in any particular over. However, in the third over of this game, on came their gun leggy and he got smacked out of the attack. 28 runs scored, and at that moment VOC Rotterdam seized control. The star of this Findorf side was crashed around, and it's been carnage ever since.
Thank you for your thoughts there, Michael McCann. As Ahmed Khalid, this one doesn't have the legs. It's a great bit of fielding, but it's going to be 4 runs, I think, as the fielder, he jumped over the boundary and tapped the ball back into the field of play. And then it looked a backspin back. This will be a very interesting replay if our wonderful cameramen have been able to pick this up. It went, yeah, so let me describe this for you. He took off from the field of play. He knocked it back in to the field of play. So he saved the 6. But then as the ball came back towards him to get us revenge, he had to stop with his foot, but his body was still over the line. So if any part of your body is touching the boundary or over the boundary, then it will be considered as 4 runs. Let's see how good my umpiring is. We have a look at this for the benefit of a replay. You see, it was a great bit of work to save the 6. He knew he couldn't hold on to the catch and stay in the field of play. You see there bouncing just inside. And then I really think the football skills have been good from the Findorf players, but I think that'll be 4 runs, not 6, because it did bounce back in the field of play.
Did it touch the boundary rope?
Oh, do you think I think he knocked it back cleanly into the field of play. Stand to be corrected, though, with the benefit of the replay. I think that's...
From this angle, difficult to see.
Should we give him 5 and split the difference? What do we think up here? Give me a thumbs up. We think 4? I'd hate to be wrong for the first time ever, live, with millions of people watching. I've called it from 60 meters away. Just sticks the spikes on it. But as you can see, he's sitting on the ground on the other side of the line. It's a great effort. And it's now confirmed 4 runs. So 2 runs saved with that bit of fielding. It's not often you say goes for 4 and you're happy with your efforts, but that was a nice effort there on the boundary. This time it's up. It could be a chance, but the wind is going to take it sailing into the fence on the full Maximo. And Scott Edwards moves to 89 off only 29 balls. That's his 11th 6. And what a display of power hitting. Khalid again. Oh, take some of this. Flat batted down the pitch. He was a little shorter, and have mercy. Scott Edwards moves into the 90s. And Phil Barkstad, would this be about the time with perhaps only our man, Pavel Florin, could stop the bleeding?
Absolutely, you would need a bowler now that is completely unorthodox. That sometimes helps, but I'm guessing these two are fired up. They would face any bowling now.
Ahmed Khalid. 9th over, it's pitched up, it's high. You know where this one's going. Maximo. And Edwards moves to 99. Philip Barkstadt, can you believe it? Could we see the second century in the ECL? It seems inevitable. Edwards on 99. Up and high. The fielder comes around. It's out of the ground. And Maximo.
What a great
Get
display.
him up in the air, umpire. And that's 100. A century to Scotty Edwards. The VOC opener backing up his 50 in the semi-final with 105 runs off 32 balls. So he's equaled the highest score at this year's ECL by Ahmed Nabi. Now, can he better it? And he does as he swings away to deep mid-wicket for just the single. And we thought that was breathtaking from Ahmed Nabi, but the power hitting from the Dutchman today has been outstanding.
Vinny, I understand your enthusiasm, but I can't share it, so I'm going to give you a celebrator. And so I'm going to pass over again to Ryan.
Well, Philip Barkstadt already ordering his first beer to drown his sorrows at the bar and make it a leader, Stein.
Where's Phil going?
Because
Where's he going?
Phil's out of here.
Isn't he having a good time?
We've seen some balls disappear, but now the Germans. Now be careful down there, Phil, because there's balls flying everywhere. After 9 overs, the score is 191 for no loss. I've seen a lot of things in cricket, Ryan, but have you ever seen anything like this?
Wow. Like, obviously, I have a lot to do with these couple of blokes, and I've seen them play, but, you know, the actual ball striking that's been going on in these first 9 overs has been quite remarkable, to be honest. Bit like a proud father up here, to be honest. I don't know why, but yeah.
Well, Ryan Campbell, wouldn't you be proud here? 106. Do you think he should maybe try and raise it up a gear? Hamid Wardak, the last over. See you later. Going, gone. Maximo, 6 more to Scotty Edwards. He moves to 112.
Be careful what you ask for, mate. Again, left arm over the wicket. Breeze going towards that leg side. Scotty Edwards basically daring him to bowl at the stumps. He's lining up literally outside off stump now. Daring him.
Now we are Australia. This might be about the time I'd be trying the underarm. As Wardak it again. This one has wings. It's huge. Out of the ground. That would have cleared a 100-metre boundary from Scotty Edwards as he went across to the offside. The little shuffle for which he's known, and swept that one for 6. A massive 6.
Right. Look, at these moments, you can feel a little bit sorry for the German lads who have copped an absolute pasting here, but you must be sitting back, and actually, I'm sure all of them are thinking to themselves, you know what, this is amazing batting. The crowd here are having a good time, the music's pumping, and they're absolutely being treated to an absolute run fest from Scotty Edwards and Max O'Dowd.
Yes, well, can you believe it? We've seen almost everything. Could we see 6 sixes in an over as the VOC total passes 200? They are 203 for none. Scotty Edwards batting well outside the off stump now as the next one's up. It's up. It's gone. A batter's hat trick to Scotty Edwards and 3 sixes in 3 balls. I dared him a little bit ironically to lift it a gear, but he almost has his 6th ball. Hamid Wardak, he's been pretty miserly and he bowled a good first over. It only went for 9, but this over, it's a different story. 18 off the first 3. What do you think, Ryan?
Well, I'm thinking
what's your money on here?
If he doesn't bowl it almost on the wide line, he's not going to go for he's going to go for another one.
It's
Boy.
short. Oh, forget
boy.
it. New balls, please. As that ball's short, he's tried full, he's tried short.
You know,
he's out of
Vinny,
ideas.
The only thing we haven't seen in this comp, we've seen it all.
Oh.
We haven't seen 6 sixes in an over.
Well, the way we're going, perhaps in the next edition of the ECL, we might see 8 sixes in an over, because this is cricket like we've never seen it before, and you're watching it wherever you are around the planet. If you're loving this, make sure you like our Facebook page, European Cricket League. You're on the European Cricket Network. You might be watching on our YouTube channel or any of the 100 countries around the world. Scotty Edwards, 5 in a row. High five. 1, 2, 3, 5. I messed that up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, máximo.
5 from 5. Again, he's standing way outside his stumps, and unfortunately the bowler is still looking, Wardak is still looking at the stumps. He's got to get away from it. In
They're
fact,
out of balls, Ryan.
6 out of 6 coming. This is the YouTube moment about to happen.
So, what do you do now?
He's going to go over the wicket.
Bowl with the other hand, perhaps. What can you do? This is our last golf ball. Be nice. Scotty Edwards, 5 sixes off 5 balls. And he only gets it away for a single. He will finish on 137 off only 39 balls. What an innings from Scotty Edwards as VOC. They don't lose a wicket on the way to a monster score of 222 without loss off their 10 overs. And
wow. To be honest, like we can stand here and say that was unbelievable, and it was unbelievable, but I don't think anyone could have seen that coming. You know, the scores in this tournament have been around, 140, 150. It was a massive score, but we saw it in the semi-final. Scotty Edwards had actually not really batted that well in this tournament so far. He found his mojo in the semi-final, and boy, didn't he just up it in that.
Well, just when you thought that they couldn't accelerate any further. Well, Hamid Wardak, he's been really good with the ball too, but when you've got 2 set batsmen like that, he went 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. And funnily enough, he tried to swing the last ball, Ryan Campbell, didn't make the connection. Now, let's not try and now remember the moment where he was given a life. Now, there were a couple of chances to be fair for the Germans. A couple of catches went down. They weren't able to hold on. As we see the batting card there, it's painful reading for the Germans. With Max O'Dowd at the top of the order, scoring 74.
You forgot about Max O'Dowd.
Was he out there?
I didn't even know he was out there.
Was he out there, Max? Well, he came up with a few maximums for himself. He just hit 10 sixes and a 4 for 74 of 25 balls and almost 3 a ball. And Scotty Edwards, 137 off 39 balls. He hit 18 sixes and 5 balls. So we had 28 sixes in the innings. Now, were there any highlights in that innings?
How can we show a highlights package? Because we're going to have to show the whole 10 overs again.
You might have to see the whole 10 overs, but we're going to try and pick out the best moments. Plenty to choose from. Iftikhar Khan, well, that one was out of here. It was like a long drive contest early as Max O'Dowd started the rod, and Scotty Edwards picking his spots and hitting them long, straight and true. And again, and again. He was like he was at the driving range, Ryan. Ball after ball, flying out here. Now, well, this was a chance.
This was a chance.
This was one of the chances to run him out as he scampered through for a leg by. Then Max O'Dowd took up the attack.
Well, again, Max was the quiet one. He wasn't really looking like he could hit one off the square, but then all of a sudden he ignited. Every time someone else got, that was a brilliant piece of fielding by the spectators. But look, it was quality batting. The switch hit came out eventually. That was probably his only miss hit was when he tried to switch hit with Scott Edwards.
To the bowling crease, bit too easy right-handed. He had to go left-handed.
Literally, again, you can talk about it in any way you want, but that was some absolutely amazing. There was a missed chance, but there was some absolutely amazing hitting from all parts of the boundary. 100 that will be remembered by these many fans here at the ground for a long time.
And well done to our boys in the booth for putting that together so quickly. There was more highlights than you can imagine. It was just carnage for the Germans. Let's remember, in the semi-final, they were able to restrict the Danish team. Now, the Danish team only lost to VOC last night by 7 runs, so we thought that those teams were quite evenly matched. They were able to hold the Danes' Svanholm to only 88 in the semi-final, but then perhaps backing up and doing it again, it was just a little bit more difficult against the VOC guys. They seemed refreshed, they seemed ready for action, and they just put a lazy 2-2-2 on the board.
Well, it was, like I say, tremendous batting, and I'm pretty sure that, you know, let's relive a few moments of Scotty Edwards again. 100 in just ridiculously short period of time.
Okay. And
as you have a look at his batting, he actually isn't trying to hit the ball too hard. And I think we've seen over these 3 days a lot of guys trying to hit the ball too hard, whereas he kept his shape, looked to hit as straight as possible, which isn't his strength. That's his strength, going to the leg side and trying to sweep everything. He did plenty of those, but he also hit some straight ones in between.
Well, Scotty Edwards, take a bow. He was originally born in Tonga, would you believe it, Ryan Campbell? He was moved to Australia when he was 2. He is a dual citizen, so he does play in Australia in summer, but he's a member of the Dutch national side. And what a performance from him today. He lists his favourite players as Brendan McCullum and Adam Gilchrist. Now, if you are watching Brendan McCullum or Adam Gilchrist, wherever you are in the world, although perhaps it's quite late at night or early in the morning, we hope that you get a chance to see that package, because it was a devastating display of power hitting.
Yeah, it was, again, we don't have enough words or superlatives to cover what we did. It was absolutely fantastic. And they posted a very, very strong score. And the German side will be up against it when they come out to bat.
Yes, it was an amazing thing to witness here. And didn't the Spanish crowd love it? As the Dutch were incredible. As when you consider there's only 60 balls in an innings, there were 28 sixes and 6 fours. So that's 34 of the 60 deliveries going to the boundary, and most of them over. It was an incredible display, and it was a pleasure to be here to witness it live. And we've quickly gone down to the shop to buy some more cricket balls, because in just a few moments we will have the German reply. So for now, we hope you've enjoyed that. We have some more analysis for you coming your way in the halftime break. I'm going to go down to Michael McCann.
Thank you very much, Finn. An absolutely ridiculous first innings that has brought comfortably the biggest score in the European Cricket League's short 3-day history. Ben Cooper, of course, is a name familiar to many from Dutch cricket, says, "Bring on Pavel." And Martin Gupta says, "This is crazy, total madness. 222 runs in 10 overs. Fastest century in international cricket is in 31 balls by A.B. de Villiers. Edwards smoked the ball to all parts today. 137 off 39 balls, 18 sixes in total, 5 fours. Carnage. Couldn't have said it better myself, my friend. 110 of his runs in boundaries, and that bit of analytics for you might give an idea of where we're going in this mid-innings break, because I'm absolutely delighted to say that alongside me is someone who knows a fair bit when it comes to numbers. Alex McCarrick from Opta Sports here doing the scoring. Alex, good evening.
Good evening, Michael.
So just give us a summary of what your role is within the whole machine. You're not just keeping score, but feeding information back to London. I'm sure our listeners and viewers across the world will be interested to know about that role behind the scenes.
Yeah, so I'm here on behalf of Opta, and for each delivery we collect all sorts of different data points. Just to talk you through a few of them, we've got shot types, connections, length of the delivery, all sorts of different fielding metrics, where the ball's gone, so wagon wheels, all sorts of different things, and it's pretty hectic, but especially with the cricket we've just seen. It's good to take a moment to take a breath after that chaos. Yeah, it's been very full on.
And there's many people who do the scoring in club cricket and find that within 3 or 4 overs it's all a mess, and the batting and the bowling and the runs and the extras don't add up. So give us an insight into your setup as well, because we haven't got a camera up here to necessarily show you, but you've got a paper system and a laptop system, so we're very much modern and ancient at the same time.
Absolutely, yeah. It's always important to keep things on paper. You know, just the laptops are prone to breaking. You know, we might lose Wi-Fi connection, we might lose power, so it's always good to have a paper copy just to make sure everything's in one place. But the laptop does all the hard work, really. It keeps everything adding up. It makes sure that I'm on the right track, and it makes my life much easier. We've got the paper scorers down here at the end. Their job, I think, is actually a bit harder. They've We've got all sorts of different things to write down at every delivery. Often their heads down when the ball's being bowled, so it's difficult to keep up with what's going on. Whereas I can enjoy the fantastic cricket we've seen.
Yep, should paint you the full picture up here. We've got Jonty, who's a key part of the ECL back of house team, whose glorious hair will not get a showing today, but the world needs to see it at some point with the dreadlocks. And then normally 2 scorers, 1 representing each team, which means that there's 3 different people keeping score. And if all 3 of them go wrong, then goodness me, you can only account for so many things.
No, we all keep each other on the right track.
And as importantly, what do you think is more likely to happen up here, given how much the wind is blowing? The laptop to blow off the table or the paper? Because both of them have, the laptop's even been shaking in the wind.
It has been, it's been struggling, but I think we're doing okay. We've got everything pinned down, and we'll just about manage.
So here at the La Manga Club Resort, if you are just joining us, we're in the run chase of the final. SG Findorf need 223 to win. Do you give them any chance, Alex?
Well, you know, we've seen crazy things over this week. You never know, but it would be absolutely ridiculous if they could pull this off. The Rotterdam have been pretty impressive. They've got some very good bowlers in their side. You never know; they could have an off day or an off few overs, and well, we'll see, won't we? It won't be long.
The required run rate's only 22.3 and over. So that was a quick chat with Alex McCarrick about all things sports stats. I've been Michael McCann, and Phil and Vin will be back with you shortly.
Thanks very much, Michael McCann. It was an incredible thing to witness as VOC put on 222 in the first innings of this one. Let's have another look at the batting card as VOC, weren't they incredible?
Yeah, they were absolutely fantastic, mate. Look at that. Scott Edwards, 137 from 39 deliveries, and Max O'Dowd, 74 from 25.
It was incredible scenes here. Didn't the crowd love it? As we saw it raining sixes all over the place. So let's have a look at SG Findorf in reply. There's a lot to play for. They're going to get 10 overs to bat in front of the world and put on a good account of themselves. They've got Hamid Wardak at the top of the overs, at the top of the innings, I should say. He is just commencing his grief counselling session, but hopefully he can complete it in the 10-minute break. Rashad Mahmood, Amar Khalid, Iftikhar Khan. Isra has been good with the bat at times. Also, Aziz Dawadzi can hit a long ball, but 222, it's a lot of runs to chase, to make an understatement, but is there, how close do you think the Germans can get?
Well, you spoke about grief counselling. Firstly, are we sure we know where Phil is? Because I don't think he took that innings that well, and I'm a little bit nervous of where he's gone. But look, obviously the unbelievable amount of pressure on now. The best thing that the Germans can do, they just got to watch the ball. They got to understand themselves. You know what? You can't hit every ball for 6. Keep your shape. Try to go to your strengths and give your best account that you can do.
Yes, the Germans can be very proud of their performance. They've won a couple of very tight games and held their nerve to reach the final, but you do see it sometimes when there's a big effort in a semi-final and then the final not long after. It's very difficult for the team to get up for that second game.
Yeah, that's the VOC Rotterdam side. Didn't see any of them bat, obviously, except for Maxie O'Dowd and Scotty Edwards, but they'll all get an opportunity to, with ball in hand now as they come onto the field.
And actually, a couple of them, I'm pretty sure I saw them in the bar at the La Manga Club halfway through the innings watching the telecast on TV, as they knew they would not be required as the openers came out and blasted 2-2-2, 3 deuces, as we see Corey Rutgers, who had a stint in the commentary box early in the day. Now, perhaps I've got a strategy here. We might have to bend the rules. The only way that the Germans could get close to this score is if Corey Ruckers bowled all 10 overs.
Oh, you said that, not me, but I'm glad you said it. Yeah, look, it's obviously a very tough task now. But again, who knows? We've seen strange things happen over these 3 days. And the one thing that I will say for VOC, their bowling attack hasn't quite hit its straps. They've bowled a lot of extras, a lot of wides and no balls, and they have had their issues. So the German batsmen have to give themselves every opportunity. Like I say, you can't hit every ball for 6. You're going to try probably, but you've got to try and keep your shape, try and hit as straight as possible and hit with the wind. Like, it was very noticeable that the VOC lads, whichever end they were batting from, they were trying to target the areas to hit with the wind.
Yes, it was smart. It gave them more margin for error. And as you say, Ryan, the Dutch, they have been very consistent in putting the runs on the board with the bat, but I do think they'd be a little bit disappointed about how they've bowled and fielded, as we see the Dutch skipper Peter Saylor there just indicating he thinks that the game's in the balance to his Dutch coach Ryan Campbell in the box.
I think he just was trying to say to me, I hope they bat like that against the UAE when we play them in 4 T20s coming up starting on the 3rd of August. Yeah. We're thinking we might have to open them, open the batting with those two again.
Well, probably not a bad idea, because you can say for the small boundaries and for the German team having to come off another game, but really it was an incredible display of hitting. You still have to get it done. And Scotty Edwards, you're right, he was intelligent, hitting with the wind, getting that ball up in the Spanish sky. Did we see it fly in that innings? 28 sixes in 10 overs, as it's going to be Pierce Fletcher to open the bowling from the Las Acacias end. The first ball now, it's up, it's high, it's in the air, there's a fielder underneath it, and taken. So the Germans, they weren't able to get a wicket in their entire 10 overs, but it was Dirk van Barren out there on the cover boundary who got an opportunity first ball, as is Devotsi. He was set up the order in the semi-final and he performed very admirably, but that time all he could do, Ryan Campbell, was set it into the sky. He had the height, but he didn't have the distance to clear the outfield.
Yeah, absolutely. He just tried to overhit the ball first up. Like we said, you've got to still be able to give yourself a little bit of a chance to get the feel of the wicket, and you can't perhaps try and hit every ball for 6. Well, I know they're going to try, and unfortunately, 1 for none of 1 ball isn't the start they wanted.
As we see the new batsman come in at 1 for none, chasing 223 for victory. This would be one of the all-time great wins if the Germans can pull this one off, as Pierce Fletcher in again. That's pushed into the offside by Shafkat Ashraf for a single. Now, Ryan, sometimes if we had a tough day in the field, we think, well, if they can do it to us, we might be able to do it to them. But in this situation, it just seems very difficult for the Germans to get anywhere near this score.
Well, the thing that happens, to be honest, is you're a bit shell-shocked and you don't quite know how to compose yourself. And that's what they really need to do.
It's Amar Khalid batting at 3. He set up the order and he goes long. It's a long and strong ball off the house across the road. There are no windows left. Maximo Amar Khalid. And that takes some skill to take Pierce Fletcher. First ball. And that's not the first time we've seen Amar Khalid send the first ball he faces over the boundary. And Pierce Fletcher, a wry smile towards us, as that one hasn't landed yet. And again, it's up, it's high, but into the wind. Max it out, takes the catch. So 6 and out for Amar Khalid, as he showed that he wanted to at least try and get near this Dutch score of 222. He sent the first ball across the road, and the second ball, he wasn't able to clear the fielder, as we see Max it out, come around and take the catch.
Well, out of the back of the hand, slower ball, change of pace. Batsman didn't quite get it, interrupted his swing plane, And as you see, the first ball that was on pace, he hit straight down the ground for 6. The slower ball changed his swing arc, dragged it to mid-wicket, and Max O'Dowd was there. He was waiting, and he doesn't drop those.
And we saw the Dutch only use 2 batsmen. The rest of them, they were in the pool, I think, sometime in the middle of the innings, watching it on their iPhones. But it's more or less a revolving door in the German dressing room at the moment, as Fletcher in again. This is flicked off the pads. A good shot there from Shafkat Ashraf all the way to the boundary for 4. So even though, Ryan, we do have a game which does seem to be quite one-sided as far as the result, there's still so much cricket entertainment on display.
Oh, absolutely. That's a good shot. Picked the slower ball, leg stump. Didn't try and hit it too hard. Flicked it off his toes nicely.
As you see on the replay, thanks to NEP, and we appreciate the efforts of the boys in the van. They've done a great job. As Pierce Fletcher, slower ball, up, does it have the legs? And great fielding by Max O'Dowd. He took off in the field of play, jumped over the rope and pulled it back. And that to me looked like a good piece of fielding. It's only 2 runs. And the Dutch, they just can't do anything wrong here in the championship match of the first ever ECL.
Out of the back of the hand, slower ball again. He got a good piece of it, and O'Dowd, brilliant. Oh, did his foot go down? I'm not sure. It's a pretty good piece of fielding, whichever way it is. It's a good attempt. Didn't actually try and catch it, but keep the ball in play, which we see so often now.
That's the experience of playing at this level. He just knew where the boundary was. Now have another look at this. Now, he does take off. He's in the air. I think he gets rid of it before that foot hits the ground. And I'm on a bit of a winning streak, so I'm going to parlay my winnings into this one. I do think that the ball has gone there just before the foot lands. But I stand to be corrected. Of course, the umpire's always right. Confirmation now that it is just the 2. I wish I was this lucky at the casino. Seem to be getting most of them right lately. There are a few dicey ones early in the tournament, but that's the end of the first over. So it's 12 for 2 after 1. And, geez, the German batsmen, only 2 fielders out. They seemed to be able to pick them out, didn't they, in that first over? As the second over begins, it's angled in, hit on the pads was Ashraf, as we have Bobby Hanif with his medium-fast wobblers from the Las Lomas end.
Yeah, well, there's the difference from the first innings. That's leg stump. Every time we saw someone bowl one there, it's basically ended up in the next paddock.
Hanif in again. This is swung away to the deep square leg boundary. It was fumbled by the fielder in the deep there. Didn't quite carry for the catch. It was Hjelte Skronheim there on the boundary. It was an awkward bounce as it came to him almost on the half volley. He got a lot of hand behind it, but couldn't quite stop it from trickling into the rope.
He almost did a very good job there. It was hit very hard.
So a good shot there from Ashraf. As this time he swings, it's up and high and falls safely as 2 fielders converge there in the point and cover region. Corey Rutgers, your man there, the Rut. Now, Corey Rutgers lists his favourite player as Ryan Campbell in the information we have now. What do you think of that?
I don't know what to say about the Rut. I do love him, though.
What do you think of the Rut? He's plenty of swipes out in the middle in the death overs and plenty of swipes on Tinder in between.
Yeah, I was going to say,
as he reminds us.
What is it? Swipe right, swipe left?
He says he's finished Tinder and he needs a new challenge. As this is wide outside off stump and called a wide, Bobby Hanif. But we talked about it in the first innings with respect to the bowling. If you are going to miss, then miss on that offside wide line with this big cross breeze. It's left to right on your screen. The wide's only 1, whereas if you go over the fence, it goes for 6.
Yeah, you want to try to hit them, get them to hit into the wind.
This is pitched up. It could be close. He's given up there. Farooq Amiri. Now, would that have been out, Ryan?
No, but the Rutt named one of his 6 rules in T10 that you're not supposed to throw at the stumps.
Never
He
throw
just broke his own rule. Thank you,
Wow.
Corey Rutgers.
Oh, maybe he's trying to paint himself as a bit of a renegade, an outlaw. Makes the rules, and rules are made to be broken. But I think when the batsman is stationary in the middle of the pitch, you're allowed to have a try. As the next
dear.
ball's picked up nicely by Shafkat Ashraf. It's high, it's long, Maximo. 6 runs for Shafkat Ashraf, as that one was short of a length, and he rode it all the way over the 10th for 6.
Yeah, that's the length he was after. He was looking for that to try and get through the nice swing of the bat. Hit it nice and high. Boom.
Last ball of the over, as this is edged over the 3rd man who's in the circle. The power play still in effect. It went straight over Pierce Fletcher's head. There's nothing he could do. 1 bounce into the fence for 4. So at the end of 2 overs, it's 29 for 2.
Well, a good over there from the Germans. Plenty of good contact.
So let's go down to Michael McCann in the booth with his insights at the start of the German innings.
It's ironic that we brought up Corey Rutgers shying at the stumps, because I was actually going to run you through, for those who missed it earlier, the 6 rules of T10 cricket that he mentioned. Number 1, retiring a batsman if they're potentially taking too long. Number 2, running straight down the wicket to save time. Number 3, having 2 super over fielders by the stumps as Fletcher starts. Number 4, don't shy at the stumps. Number 5, running out of the ring to get yourself outside of the 30-metre circle by the time the bowler actually gets the ball through to the batsman. And if you can remember number 6, get in touch, because I've forgotten it.
Well, Michael McCann with some interesting insights. And if you've forgotten it, then I don't know how Corey Rutgers can remember it, because he is one loose unit. Not much of him. As Pierce Fletcher comes in here for the 2nd ball of the 3rd over. It's up. Does it have the elevation? It does. And Peter Saylor can do nothing about that, as that's over his head for a Maximo.
Yeah, good shot. Hit hard and firm. Picked the slower ball. Kept his shape. Stayed where he was. Nice, good swing of the bat. Boom.
You see there in the replay. Fantastic coverage. We appreciate the work that's being done by the cameraman in trying conditions. A big windy day, and this is a big windy woof. It's going high. It's going to go all the way. Almost lost Corey over the fence, as that one went all the way for another Maximo.
Yeah, again, just got the elevation. Once you get it up into this absolutely gale of a breeze, very tough to keep it in the boundary of play. 2 in a row.
Well, can he get the hat trick, the batter's hat trick? This one is swung away on the leg side. Non-striker took off, was sent back. Farouk Amiri, he's 15 off only 5 balls with 2 Maximos, and he's doing his best to provide some entertainment for the crowd. And I don't care where you're at in the game, there's no better feeling as a batsman than getting one in the middle and getting it out of the ground.
Oh yeah, and that feeling, that sound it makes.
Fletcher in again. This one isn't timed that well, but it's still going to carry the rope for a Maximo, and 6 more runs. Farouk Amiri.
Well, Amiri, what I can gather is that he's actually picking the back of the hand slower ball, because you can see there he just pauses for a second in his backswing, picks it and deposits it over the boundary.
So some good intent from the German as he awaits Fletcher. Last ball of the over. It's up, it's high, it's in the air, it's long, it's strong. Maximo! That's the way to end the power play, as Findorf bring up their 50. They are 55 for 2 after 3 overs. And ordinarily you'd say 55 in the power play is a pretty good going. It's over 18 and over.
That's amazing going.
And they still need just what seems like an endless amount of runs to even make this close.
Yeah, that's a pretty good batting, to be fair. Making the most of this stiff breeze down the ground. 27 off 7 and 21 off 8. They're going quite well. Can they bat for another 2 or 3 overs under this immense pressure to keep hitting some boundaries just to drag their side, to give them a glimmer of hope?
Well, certainly hope so for the benefit of our entertainment. And hasn't there been some entertainment, even with the results seemingly beyond doubt? We are seeing some excellent cricket shots. We're seeing entertainment all around the world. It's Ashkula Saeed to take up the bowling from the Las Lomas sand. It's borderline. It was an in-swinger, fallen wide. He must be listening to you, Ryan, because he was going for that full wide one. It was just a little too wide and called by the umpire.
Yeah, well, I don't mind the theory behind it all. Stay out there. A lot of time what happens is the batsman actually will try and have a swing at that and you bunt it out to point or deep point. So I don't mind his thinking.
And I've been told that, believe it or not, Findorf are currently only 2 runs behind where VOC were at this point in the innings. So that's very interesting, Ryan.
Yeah, well, unfortunately for them, though, we're not taking into account that I think every ball after this goes for 6 in the VOC inning. There was 28 of them.
28 sixes in 10 overs as Ashikula Saeed again is short. Tucks up the batsman. Seemed to hit him on the thigh pad and leg by given by the umpire.
He's actually bowled very well in this competition, to be fair. He's taken wickets, he's been economical, he's done a really good job for his team, VOC. And I was mentioning to Michael earlier on today, it's a beautiful story. The Afghanistani refugee who spent 2 years basically walking his way through Europe to get to Belgium.
Say it again, what a story. As he's in against a bouncer, it's high, it's got the legs, it's almost taken out our official scorer next to me. We're going to get some helmets up here, Ryan Campbell, because we've seen a lot of Maximals today, and that is one of the most unorthodox.
Well, it's a bumper. He tried it, top edge, and that's almost coming to us.
So,
I'm more nervous about that going towards, not the scorers, but to Michael McCann. I've seen him catch, it's no good.
Michael McCann, the spectacles will be all over the floor, that's for sure. Let's say it again. Can he have a bit more luck this time as Farouk Amiri swings him down the ground to long on? And yes, I will give Michael credit for his knowledge about cricket and his expert analysis, and we've certainly enjoyed his commentary this week. But as a cricketer, he is very average. I cannot wait to get out there. There'll be nothing in his half after the game. I think I can get one through his defences more than once, and I'm a keeper like you. Oh,
misfire.
That's a good timing because we can talk more about Michael McCann's batting. And I asked him if he's a front foot player or a back foot player. He said he can do it all, but we're going to definitely test that out after the game. There'll be no helmets either. It's every man for himself after the game. As we're seeing some great entertainment here, it's Ashikula Saeed from the Las Lomas end. Swung away, clearing the front leg was Shafkat Ashraf. It's down the ground to long off for a single. And Ryan, a wicket keeper mostly, of course, but did you ever fancy yourself with the ball? I remember taking a couple of wickets
Open
in your
bowling
career.
at a World Cup.
Is that right?
There you go.
Tell us about that.
There's a quiz night question for you. Open the batting, open the bowling of the 2016 World Cup for Hong Kong.
Oh, of course, yes.
Loved to bowl. I was an angry bowler,
I
though.
almost forgot you represent Hong Kong and doing great work there, developing the game again in a less-known cricketing region.
Just trying to hit this ball too hard at the moment. Yeah, but mate, it was. I love bowling offies, and like I say, I was an angry bowler. I didn't like getting hit, and I got hit often.
You're an angry man sometimes, aren't you?
I'm a grumpy
Right?
man in the morning. I never get sleep. I've got 2 young children. So
Well,
my team know not to mess with me early in the morning or late at night when we're on tours, because I'm tucked up in bed catching
Matt,
up on my
well,
sleep.
you know, if you do have young children, we do know you can be up at all hours, and it's quite late now in Australia, so shout out to all the mums and dads. You do important work, and we hope you're enjoying the telecast. This one's up in the air. I don't think it's going to have the legs, but the fielder coming in. And who was that down there? Was that Corey Rutgers?
I think it's a bit big for Corey Rutgers.
No, he is a bit tall, so he's far away. It was Bobby Hanif down there on the long off boundary, and that just showed the wind. It looked like it was going to carry to him easily, but once it got in there, the wind was actually getting the ball to carry less on this occasion. So Bobby Hanif came in there, couldn't quite get it before it hit the turf.
Yeah, that howling gale does make catching an issue. Max O'Dowd into the attack.
I don't think I've ever seen a game of cricket, Ryan, where you're 67 off 4 overs and you're miles behind in the game. We've had some thirst at the ECL, that's for sure.
Yeah, you're doing a good job, but there's a long way to go. Max O'Dowd with his leg spin into the wind. Tough ask. Let's see what goes on here.
Well, Max O'Dowd, something he's developed recently. You said the leg spin as he comes in over the wicket. This is short, asks for the treatment, but the batsman, Ashraf, couldn't quite get hold of it. He's only able to steer it round the corner for a single. Yeah. And Max O'Dowd, his leg spin, it's a recent phenomenon.
Did bowl off spin, but just felt that this was an opportunity to develop a better skill set. Obviously, he watches a lot of Rashid Khan and those sort of fast leg spin bowlers. So, look, it's a developing skill that he's having, and he's going to have some ups and downs. But I think in the long run, it's going to be a nice weapon to have in his arsenal.
And what do you think about leg spin compared to off spin? Do you think it's a lot more difficult to bowl over the wrist in that leg spinning action?
Oh, absolutely. It's the toughest, I believe it's the toughest skill to learn in cricket, and that's why if there is good youngsters out there bowling leg spin, you have to be a bit patient with them. They're going to have their ups and downs because, like I say, it's a tough art to master, and the captain of your team has to be very good, who knows how to set good fields for him, to keep encouraging him and to bowl him at the right time.
Well, we've had some interest in the tournament from some big names in cricket, and we'll come to that after this ball as O'Dowd in, right arm, leg spin, pitching outside leg off the pad. And yes, Ryan, we had the bodyguard, Pavel Florin, yesterday, representing Romania. As we see that ball going between the legs of the batsman. O'Dowd in again, swings down the ground, it's high, 1 bounce and 4 runs. Great shot there by Farouk Amiri, who moves on to 39.
It's a good shot, and as you can see here, O'Dowd's trying to bowl quite flat. He's trying to get hit to the squarer boundary. He's not trying to get hit down the wicket, but good use of the feet. And another boundary.
Definitely was well struck there. Not quite the elevation to take it all the way for 6. So O'Dowd comes in. This time's down the wicket, charging. Yes, Ryan, we had Pavel Florin take the internet by storm yesterday, and we had Shane Warne getting into the action, saying that he was a huge Pavel Florin fan, as this next one is hit out towards the deep into wicket boundary. They'll just get the single. Yes, Shane, the world's greatest ever leg spinner, and some would say the greatest ever cricketer. He said that he loved the passion of Pavel Florin and was really excited about what he was doing for the game, as this one's in the air and dropped it deep backward square. Is that Sebastian Van Lent out there?
It is Sebastian Van Lent. Again, that wind being a massive factor, making fielding very, very difficult for these players.
And that's the end of the over. So at the halfway point, Findorf at 74 for 2. Let's go down to Michael McCann in the booth.
So we've had a lot of thoughts about our team of the tournament. This is what I've come up with. Scott Edwards and Max O'Dowd opening the batting from VOC. Mads Henriksson of Svanholm, the all-rounder, at 3. Peter Saylor and Piers Fletcher, the 2 VOC all-rounders, at 4 and 5. Amin Nabi, Druz Centurion at 6. Anil Singh, the St Petersburg keeper, at 7. Ishraq Khan and Nadeem Hussain, the 2 leg spinners. And Zishan Shan, the gun player at the death for Svanholm. You're probably thinking that's 10 players, 6 bowling options, 3 seam and 3 spin. The one man I'm missing from my team of the tournament, who else? Pavel Florin has to be in there as something not seam, not spin. Who knows what he bowls, but it's blooming good to watch. Back to you.
Thank you, Michael, as the first ball of Yelta Scholnheim disappears over long on for a Maximo. Shafkat Ashraf. And as you might hear in the background, we welcome former German international Philipp Bachstadt into the box. But Philip, we have another wicket as you're just the German jinx at the moment. Shavkat Ashraf, he was great in getting to 31, but he charged Jelt Skolnheim and didn't make contact, and he was stumped smartly by Scotty Edwards standing up to the stumps.
Well, we still have Amiri there, and I think the Germans are doing a good job. I mean, you have to consider the story of Findorf. They only got formed in 2013, and VOC Rotterdam, they of course have a long history of cricket, and so the 223 are definitely pretty much unreachable, but they're doing a great job here. I'm proud of the boys.
Well, you can be proud of the boys from Bremen SG Findorf. Skolnheim again, this time is full into Kakan. Yeah, I was going to run through for the single. He forgot he had to actually run. It's been a long week for Iftikhar Khan. He is just 38 years of age.
I wish it was a week. It's only 3 days.
Well, it feels like a week. It's been more than a week's worth of cricket as Farouk Amiri faced the next one from Skolnheim. It's up and over and away. One bounce, cuatro carreras, and 4 runs. Philip Bachstad.
Yes, it's great display by the German batsman. I mean, the target of 223 is, as I said, pretty high, but at least they're putting on a show here. And for other targets, what they do now is very good.
Master of understatement there are the Germans. As he says, it's pretty high, the target, 223. So, Philip, we welcome you back in, but thanks to Ryan Campbell. We hope you enjoyed his commentary during the 3 days of the inaugural European Cricket League. Ryan's doing great things for the game in Europe. He's coaching the Dutch team currently. This is a full toss. It's over waist height. And although the batsman was charging, that was way too high from Jelt Skolnheim. And it was sliced away over the boundary, or into the boundary fence for 4. And Iftikhar Khan not wearing the lid, so he might have had a bit of a nervous moment as he saw that ball coming straight at the melon.
So now let's see what he does with the free hit.
Yes, a free hit. Can't be dismissed off this delivery. A big swing and a miss. Ifty, as he's known. He's a great ambassador for cricket in Germany. That is the end of the over. And after 6, it's 91 for 3.
And he didn't quite hit that, but I'm still proudly wearing my lederhosen. Ladies and gentlemen, if you could see me, I've got leather trousers, the traditional Bavarian pants on, and I do it with pride.
I'm really proud of you, Philip, for your inputs this week as well. Special mention to Philip Bachstad. He has got the lederhosen on. He put them on before the semi-final. He thought it would bring the Germans a bit of luck. And they didn't really need luck as they put on a clinical performance with the ball and in the field. But unfortunately, they've run into a formidable opponent here in the final. At the end of 6 overs, Findorf 91. They're going at over 15 and over. But still, they need almost 6 a ball to win. 4 overs left in the ECL as this ball's up in the air. Saylor takes the catch, the captain, on the boundary. That was Bobby Hanif with the first ball of his second over. His first one went for 17, but he'll be very happy to pick up his first wicket in the championship match of the ECL.
Well, Amiri won't be too happy because if that had gone for 6, it would have been a 50, but a remarkable innings, 45 of 17 balls, Farouk Amiri, but Bobby Hanif and caught by Peter Saylor quite a couple, and he can be proud of his performance.
So 91 on the board. They lose another wicket, and you see on the replay, thanks to NEP Productions, bringing all the action to you. The experienced campaigner, Peter Saylor, keeping his cool, taking the catch. This is high up in the air. Sadadarvesh, the new batsman, gets it over and out for a Maximo. Sadadarvesh, and it's great to see you still getting excited about the shots from your German countryman, Philip Sadadarvesh. He's a lovely guy. I was chatting to him last night at dinner. Got a slight injury. It's no wonder with swings like that. And again, this time it's up. It's got a chance. Oh, almost an amazing catch there from Dirk van Baaren on the edge of the field of play. Had a thought to perhaps try and pull that one in and land on his feet. He would have had to stick the landing, that's for sure. But he was able to keep it back in, and it's just a single. Don't know if Dirk has any gymnastic experience. Next one comes just a single.
Yeah, that was a great piece of fielding there on the boundary.
We really enjoyed some of the fielding today as Hanif comes in again. This was a swing and a miss.
And Bobby Hanif bowling exactly where he should be, outside the off stump. The Germans are not quite ready to step over and across yet, as the Dutch did.
Last ball of the over, shapes to do something fancy, did the striker Satadavesh.
Called a wide there.
Yes, it is. And Satadavesh only 20 years of age. And isn't it great to see the youth of European cricket in action in front of the world on the big stage, as the last ball of the over with 100 on the board now is swung through the cover region, a full toss. Corey Ruckers, one of his rules, get outside the circle once the ball leaves the bowler's hand. End of the 7th over. It is 101 for 4. And Philip Barkster, talk us through this piece of fielding on the long off boundary. It looked to be 6 for all money.
Yes, it was hit high up in the air, and I thought it would go for 6, but then there was an amazing fielding there. He had it, he couldn't quite hold on to it because it would have been 6 if he had stepped over the rope, so he decided to throw it back in.
That's where you and me are different, Phil. I'd be going for glory for sure when I'm 120 ahead with 3 overs to go. I'm trying to hold on to that, because that's the sort of catch that can go viral across the cricket world, or anyone who's interested in sports would have appreciated that piece of athleticism from Dirk van Baaren. The next ball is swung away. Maximo Satadavesh. Clickety-click, 66 on his back, and that one went for 6 as Satadavesh pounced on that from Dirk van Baaren. He was the man a second ago that you saw on the boundary, pulling that one back into the field of play, but that one comfortably over the fence for 6. Great shot by the young man, and welcome to the crease, Dirk van Baaren. Next ball now, can the bowler come back? And he does.
Vinny, I think 6 runs will soon no longer exist if you keep on commentating. It's just going to be called Maximo. So that's all thanks to you. Thank you for your enthusiasm. It's really great having you as a commentator of this massive final.
Well, it's been a pleasure bringing it to you. There's something special about cricket. In Spain is the next one. A smart piece of work, and he stumped. He stumped Scotty Edwards, having a day to remember after putting a mountain of runs on the board for Rotterdam in the first innings. And then you see this all-round skills of the young Dutch player as Satadavesh just straight out of his crease there. And in a flash, the bails were off, almost in one motion. So an excellent piece of wicket keeping. We see here on the replay, Davesh just out of the crease. Edwards in perfect position, head right over the ball. And we've seen kind of the good, the bad, and the ugly with respect to wicket keeping during this inaugural ECL tournament. But that was an excellent piece of work.
But the runs that are on the board for the Germans, Isra Khan is the next one facing.
This is, oh, it's high, it's miles in the air. It can't carry the infield. In comes the fielder, and it's taken. Another catch for the skipper, Peter Saylor. He's racking up the possessions as that ball went high into the air. It was Isra Khan He's had a very good tournament with bat and ball. He's kind of in a really tough situation. He has to come out and have a go, at least try and clear the boundary. He made good contact, but it went straight up. He didn't have the carry, as we see on the replay, towards the bottom of the bat, and he knew straight away he was in trouble, hitting into the wind.
Peter Saylor, safe hands.
And Peter Saylor, famous some years ago, I think perhaps around 10 or 12 years ago, for dismissing Paul Collingwood and giving the penguin dance. As the next ball is hit away by Iftikhar Khan. O'Dowd coming around and takes the catch. So, another wicket. And
but Vinny, wouldn't that score be enough for any other game? I mean, this score that the Germans are putting up, it would have been enough for any other game.
well, it's just confirmed that that is a hat trick. Everything's happening so fast. We've seen everything now. Philip Bachstadt, 3 wickets in 3 balls, and of course we had the stumping off. Firstly, off the bowling of Dirk van Barren, then we had the skied ball caught by Seeler, and then everything's happening so fast we didn't even realise he was on a hat-trick. And good on Iftikhar Khan. He could have easily tried to ruin the chances of Dirk van Barren by patting that one away, but he went for the big shot. And Phil and I have been lucky enough to see a lot of things in the box this week, but that's the first ever hat-trick in the European Cricket League. Could he get 4 in 4? This is perhaps a bottom edge. Pulled back, and another excellent. Ashakula Saeed, take a bow. This one comes in, return right next to the bails. Thought it might have been a slight bottom edge, although we're behind the keeper at our angle.
Yeah, what an amazing piece of fielding there. He just got it in, just got hold of the ball before it went over the boundary.
So 109 for 7 at the end of the 8th over. Only 2 overs left in the ECL. So Philip Bachstadt, we're going to go across to Michael McCann for his thoughts of what he's seen tonight.
Well, today will be remembered as the Scott Edwards show. The numbers are mind-boggling. 192 runs off 54 balls across the 2 innings. 3.5 runs per ball, 25 sixes and 8 fours. Yes, you did hear me correctly. Just 10 of those nearly 200 runs not coming in boundaries. But Larry the Leprechaun says if he didn't hog the strike from Max O'Dowd probably could have got 102, given that he was scoring at 3 a ball as well. What is for sure, it is those 2 that have probably decided this year's ECL.
It's Ramda Supajaya to take up the attack. This first one is hit, and he's found the fielder. It's Bobby Hanif joining in on the act. So the 8th wicket falls at 109, and Germany, they're going down swinging, and they have to. It's really a respectable score based on what we've seen this week, but Rotterdam batting them out of the game, and so not much option. Hamid Wardak, he's out first ball, but he can be very proud of his week this week. Hamid Wardak goes back to the pavilion.
The catch he dropped in the semi-final, that really injured his hand. He will have to go to the hospital later on, he told me.
And you see there the commitment from these players, playing with broken legs, broken hands. They just want to be out there for their club, representing their club and country. The next ball. do apologise for the brief break in audio there, but you see 116 for 8, and now it's time for the last over of the ECL. So the game out of reach for Findorff, but Phil, we were just chatting then off air about the tournament and some of our favourite moments, and what will you remember about the first ever European Cricket League?
Well, besides this massive total by the Dutch, I had the chance to talk to Pavel Florin from Romania, from Cluj Cricket Club, and that was definitely my favorite moment. It was amazing to see a gentleman like that who has only played cricket for 8 years, and he is such a sportsman. He does several sports, and he just loves his cricket. And he was criticized at first online, social media. You know how things go viral sometimes. And he was criticized heavily. And then he said, some people say I might not be a good bowler or a good batsman, but I don't care. I just love my cricket, and I'm going to play it. And in 6 years' time, when I build my pitch, I'm going to win this tournament.
Well, got some exciting news. Someone informed me earlier in the media centre that someone has set up a GoFundMe page for Pavel Florin. There's been such a reaction around the cricket world because he has to drive for 9 hours to get to his home ground. He wants to build a cricket ground in Cluj. At the moment, he's going some 800 kilometres to Bucharest to play.
Hello. Can the audience please stay here? There is a presentation ceremony which should be held. So please.
Oh! Oh. Oh.
Is this possible for interview or?
Oh yeah, it's quite upsetting.
Hello, mic testing. Check. Mic testing. Mic testing. Yep. Mic testing.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Temporary loss of power in the booth at a crucial time. But you see the tail of the tape. VOC Rotterdam are your European Cricket League champions, the kings of cricket in Europe. They came out and absolutely smashed it. It was the smashing of all smashings in the first innings as they were sent into bat by Iftikhar Khan, the SG Findorf captain, and they amassed 222 runs without losing a wicket. Their openers doing all the work in the 10 overs. Scott Edwards, an incredible century, 137 not out of 39 balls with 18 sixes. And then Max O'Dowd in more of a supporting role, but still going at 3 a ball almost, as he scored 74 not out of 25. And then Phil Bachstadt, former German international, Findorf in reply. Well, let's be honest, they were never in the game, but they put on a good show for the crowd here, and they got up to a respectable score of 121 for 9.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to go through the bowling figures, but Farouk Amiri with his 45 and then just caught at the boundary. Could have been a 50, but 45 is a respectable score. Shafkat Ashraf, 31 for just 15 balls. Sattar Dawesh, 14 runs of 7 balls, and Fakhar Ahmed, 11 runs of 8 balls. So it's a respectable score from Findorf. And where have they come from? The club was only founded in 2013, so I have to really give my respect to them.
Oh, and I think the whole cricketing world does, as we did every team here this week. We had Dirk van Buren there taking 3 for 8, and those 3 wickets were a hat-trick. So we saw almost everything. But in the end, a hat-trick in the last innings of the first edition of the ECL. There was a great stumping from Scotty Edwards and 2 outfield catches as he took 3 for 8 off his over. And we almost saw 6 sixes in an over as well. Although we did see 6 consecutive sixes off balls faced from Scott Edwards in the 10th over. He took it to pieces. An incredible display of power hitting as Wardak, who'd been really good through the tournament, went for 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. It was cinco maximo, but the last ball only going for a single to finish on that score of 222.
Well, so Rotterdam definitely deserved their win. They are the kings of European cricket, and Findorf, as I said, well done on runners-up, and they're just preparing the award ceremony. But Vinny, just to tell me, what's your highlight of this tournament?
Well, there were so many, and before the power cut out up here, we were talking about Pavel Florin and his cricket ground. He really wants to build a cricket ground in his city. He's going many, many hundreds of kilometres, 9 hours overnight just to play a cricket match. So look online. I'm not sure of the exact details, but the GoFundMe page for Pavel Florin to build a cricket ground in Romania. If you've enjoyed the European Cricket League this year, it would be really good, even if you can only spare a little bit of cash for Pavel. This is a guy who came out, he taught himself to bowl, he's playing on a broken leg, he's come out and he's tried to reverse sweep the first ball he's faced. So it was incredible work from the Romanian.
Thank you very much, Vinny. Sandu, thank you for your comments. And I'm Philip Bechstedt, and now over to Urvashi, and she is with the runners-up and the winners and the organization team. Here's the awards ceremony of the European Cricket League 2019.
Presentation ceremony of the first edition of the European Cricket League, and what a tournament it's been. It's been a dynamic T10 tournament where domestic champions from 8 European countries got together at the La Manga Club, battled it out for 3 days to be crowned the Kings of Europe. And well, with that, I would like to introduce the guests I have on stage. To the extreme right is Daniel Weston, known as Danny Westy, founder of the European Cricket League. One of the men behind the tournament. To my left is Frank Linders. I got your name right. Very good. And he is also one of the guys responsible for the tournament. Thank you very much. A big round of applause. And our special guest, Mr. Juan Carlos Rodriguez. He's the president of Cricket España. Did I get it right? Well, he's come all the way to La Manga to support us. Thank you very much for being here. At this point, I would like to give the mic to you, and if you can say a few words.
Good afternoon, everyone. Indeed, what a week it has been here in La Manga. 17 amazing T10 matches here on this pitch, and images which have literally gone around the world and which have literally gone viral yesterday, overnight, and today. Before we come to the most important part, here the handover of the medals and the trophies, allow me to say a few words. Firstly, this is the start of ECL. This is the start of the European Cricket League. This is the start of ECN, the European Cricket Network. And the objective of this venture is to finally give a home to cricket in continental Europe, a place that has often been forgotten and that doesn't have that place. And we believe that over time, with all of you, that's something we can change. So please, first of all, a round of applause to your own future. And as we are about to thank some people, allow me to pick out a few names. Firstly, I would like to thank the 8 founding members, the founding fathers and mothers in terms of the federations that have embarked upon this venture: Spain, Italy, France, Germany, Holland, Denmark, Russia, and Romania. Thank you very much for that. Thank you also to 8 fantastic champion clubs that were here in La Manga this week. You have been defending your club colors, but also your leagues, federation, and your countries. So an applause for yourself as well. Thank you. An event like this and a venture like this doesn't happen by nature, and also requires a lot of support. So founders, investors, broadcasters, sponsors, volunteers, thank you very much. I'm nearly there. Also, a really special thank you to Cricket España, with the president here, but also our friend John, with whom we would never have been able to come here. We have toured all the sites with him in Spain. And John, Cricket España, thank you very much. And also ICC, thank you very much for putting us in your calendar, which has been very valuable. And we look forward to working with you also in the years to come. But of course, a thank you here is not concluded without an amazing team of people that worked relentlessly not only this week, but over the last 18 months, 24 months, in pulling this together. And I don't want to mention specific names because then you always forget people, but allow me to pick out two names. One is the founding father of this whole idea and this project, Daniel Weston, a man with a passion. He has done amazing things. You know it. This guy is living a vision. He's putting his heart, his soul, everything into this, and that's amazing. On behalf of the rest of the team, allow me also to pick out Roger Feiner, because Roger came from another angle. He came from the operational angle, but with his team as CEO, he pulled it all off. So thank you for your time, for listening to this intro, and we look forward to working with you and seeing this all grow in the years to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Frank, for those inspiring words. All right. It's time now to announce the player of the tournament, someone who's been chosen by our fantastic umpires who did a fabulous job throughout the tournament. And of course, there were a couple of contenders, but we have chosen an all-rounder who was par excellence without a doubt. If that was hint enough, can we please have on stage Max O'Dowd? Congratulations, Max. It was not a surprise for us. And well, now I would like to invite two sweet little kids who are a symbol of a future as well and reminds us of our responsibility towards our future. They're part of our partner charity, and it's Care for Rare. It's the first and one-of-its-kind foundation that looks after, provides treatment and help for children suffering from rare diseases. Can I please have these two kids on stage? Thank you. Okay, the kids are here to give away the medals for the runners-up team. Can we please have a big round of applause for the German side, Findorf. Can we all have everybody here for a group picture, please? You deserve it. You can all stand in front of it, it's fine. All right. All right, maybe that music. All right, finally, can you guys hear me? No. The mic? Yeah, off. The mic is off. The mic is off. No? No, 10-9.
Yeah.
Okay, now it's on. So we're back on. All right, and finally for the moment we've been waiting for. The team that started as favorites and showed us exactly why. And not just because of their performance on the field, which gave us some spectacular moments, but also for their off-field performance, the way they were with their opponents, the camaraderie they showed, the friendliness that they had. Can we please have the winning team, VOC Rotterdam, to come on stage for their winning medals? A big round of applause, everybody. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Okay, remember when he goes low, then you jump. You're gonna give me sauce.
Gracias.